Newly elected Republican Congresswoman and QAnon supporter Marjorie Taylor Green making headlines yet again today, this time for what happened at one of her town hall meetings.
This is a liberal position.
A reporter with the NBC station in Chattanooga threatened to be arrested for criminal trespass in Dalton, Georgia last night after asking Representative Green a question. A member of Green staff initially asked the reporter to leave the town hall, and then a Whitfield County Sheriff's deputy escorted the news crew out the building. While media was invited to the event, WRCB TV says once they arrived, they were told they would not be allowed to ask questions. A spokesperson for Green's office telling WRCB TV the reporter was removed because the event was not a press conference and she was not approved to ask questions. Congresswoman Green is hosting 3 town halls this week. The last one is tonight in Dallas, Georgia. Now, around the same time as that incident involving a reporter, on Capitol Hill, a California Democrat announced plans to introduce a resolution to expel the representative from Congress. Congressman Jimmy Gomez citing a CNN report accusing the Congresswoman of supporting violence against Democrats. The report highlights social media activity from Green before she was elected. It is unlikely Gomez's resolution will pass in a chamber where Democrats hold a narrow majority. A 2/3 majority is required to expel a member from the House. Representative Green issued a statement to 11 Alive this morning saying in part it is the latest move by Democrats to come after her. We're digging more into the controversy surrounding Representative Green and other actions that could be taken against her. That's tonight at 6.